Torah reading Parshat Vayakhel Exodus 35:1-38:20. First portion. Exodus chapter 35. 1 Moses called the whole community of the children of Israel to assemble, and he said to them, "These are the things that the Lord commanded to make. 6 days' work may be done, but on the seventh day you shall have sanctity, a day of complete rest to the Lord. Whoever performs work thereon, on this day, shall be put to death. 3 You shall not kindle fire in any of your dwelling places on the Sabbath day." 4 And Moses spoke to the entire community of the children of Israel, saying, "This is the word that the Lord has commanded to say. 5 Take from yourselves an offering for the Lord, every generous-hearted person shall bring it, namely, the Lord's offering, gold, silver, and copper. 6 And blue, purple, and crimson wool, and linen and goat hair. 7 And ram skins dyed red, tachash skins, and acacia wood. 8 And oil for lighting, and spices for the anointing oil and for the incense. 9 And shoam stones and filling stones for the ephod and for the choshen. 10 And every wise-hearted person among you shall come and make everything that the Lord has commanded. 11 The Mishkan, its tent and its cover, its clasps and its planks, its bars, its pillars, and its sockets. 12 The ark and its poles, the ark cover and the screening dividing curtain. 13 The table and its poles and all its implements, and the showbread. 14 And the menorah for lighting and its implements and its lamps, and the oil for lighting. 15 And the altar for incense and its poles, and the anointing oil and the incense and the screen of the entrance for the entrance of the Mishkan. 16 The altar for the burnt offering, its copper grating, its poles and all its implements, the washstand and its base. 17 The hangings of the courtyard, its pillars, and its sockets, and the screen of the gate of the courtyard. 18 The pegs of the Mishkan and the pegs of the courtyard, and their ropes. 19 The meshwork garments to serve in the holy garments for Aaron the Cohen, Gadol, and the garments of his sons, in which, to serve, as Kohanim. 20 The entire community departed from before Moses. Second portion. Exodus chapter 35. 21 Every man whose heart uplifted him came, and everyone whose spirit inspired him to generosity brought the offering of the Lord for the work of the tent of meeting, for all its service, and for the holy garments. 22 The men came with the women, every generous-hearted person brought bracelets and earrings and rings and buckles, all kinds of golden objects, and every man who waved a waving of gold to the Lord. 23 And every man with whom was found blue, purple, or crimson wool, linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red or tachash skins, brought them. 24 Everyone who set aside an offering of silver or copper brought the offering for the Lord, and everyone with whom acacia wood was found for any work of the service, brought it. 25 And every wise-hearted woman spun with her hands, and they brought spun material, blue, purple, and crimson wool, and linen. 26 And all the women whose hearts uplifted them with wisdom, spun the goat hair. 27 And the princes brought the shoam stones and filling stones for the ephod and for the choshen. 28 And the spice and the oil for lighting and for the anointing oil, and for the incense. 29 Every man and woman whose heart inspired them to generosity to bring for all the work that the Lord had commanded to make, through Moses, the children of Israel brought a gift for the Lord. Third portion. Exodus chapter 35. 30 Moses said to the children of Israel, "See, the Lord has called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. 31 He has imbued him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with insight, and with knowledge, and with talent for all manner of craftsmanship. 32 To do master weaving, to work with gold, silver, and copper. 33 With the craft of stones for setting and with the craft of wood, to work with every manner of thoughtful work. 34 And he put into his heart the ability to teach, both him and Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. 35 He imbued them with wisdom of the heart, to do all sorts of work of a craftsman and a master worker and an embroiderer with blue, purple, and crimson wool, and linen and, of, weavers, those who do every manner of work and master weavers. Exodus chapter 36. 1 Bezalel and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man into whom God had imbued wisdom and insight to know how to do, shall do all the work of the service of the holy, according to all that the Lord has commanded. 2 And Moses called Bezalel and Oholiab and every wise-hearted man into whose heart the Lord had given wisdom, everyone whose heart lifted him up to approach the work to do it. 3 So they took from before Moses all the offerings that the children of Israel had brought for the work of the service of the holy, and they brought him more gifts every morning. For then all the wise men who were doing the work of the holy came, each one from his work, which they had been doing. 5 And they spoke to Moses, saying, The people are bringing very much, more than is enough for the labor of the articles which the Lord had commanded to do. 6 So Moses commanded, and they announced in the camp, saying, Let no man or woman do any more work for the offering for the holy. So the people stopped bringing. 7 And the work was sufficient for them for all the work, to do it and to leave over. Fourth portion. Exodus chapter 36. 8 Then all the wise-hearted people of the performers of the work made the Mishkan out of 10 curtains, consisting of twisted fine linen, and blue, purple, and crimson wool. A cherubim design, the work of a master weaver he made them. 9 The length of one curtain was 28 cubits, and the width of one curtain was 4 cubits, the same measure for all the curtains. 10 And he joined 5 of these curtains to one another, and the other 5 curtains he, also, joined to one another. 11 And he made loops of blue wool on the edge of one curtain, that is, at the edge of the first set, and he did the same on the edge of the outermost curtain of the second set. 12 He made 50 loops on the edge of one curtain, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the curtain in the second set, the loops corresponded to one another. 13 And he made 50 golden clasps, and he fastened the curtains to one another with the clasps, so the Mishkan became one. 14 And, then, he made curtains of goat hair for a tent over the Mishkan, he made them 11 curtains. 15 The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and the width of one curtain was 4 cubits, the same measure for the 11 curtains. 16 And he joined the 5 curtains by themselves, and the other 6 curtains by themselves. 17 And he made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost curtain of the first set, and he made 50 loops on the edge of the outermost curtain of the second set. 18 And he made 50 copper clasps to fasten the tent together so that it became one. 19 And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red and a covering of takash skins above. Fifth portion. Exodus chapter 36. 20 And he made the planks for the Mishkan of acacia wood, upright. 21 10 cubits was the length of each plank, and a cubit and a half was the width of each plank. 22 Each plank had 2 square pegs, rung like one even with the other, so did he make for all the planks of the Mishkan. 23 And he made the planks for the Mishkan, 20 planks for the southern side. 24 And he made 40 silver sockets under the 20 planks, 2 sockets under one plank for its 2 square pegs, and 2 sockets under one plank for its 2 square pegs. 25 And for the second side of the Mishkan on the northern side he made 20 planks. 26 And their 40 silver sockets, 2 sockets under one plank and 2 sockets under one plank. 27 And for the western end of the Mishkan he made 6 planks. 28 And he made 2 planks at the corners of the Mishkan at the end. 29 And they were matched evenly from below, and together they matched at its top, to be put into the one ring, so did he make for both of them, for the 2 corners. 30 And there were 8 planks and their silver sockets, 16 sockets 2 sockets, under one plank and 2 sockets under one plank. 31 And he made bars of acacia wood, 5 for the planks of one side of the Mishkan. 32 And 5 bars for the planks of the second side of the Mishkan, and 5 bars 33 And he made the middle bar to penetrate in the midst of the planks from one end to the other end. 34 And he overlaid the planks with gold, and their rings he made of gold as holders for the bars, and he overlaid the bars with gold. 35 And he made the dividing curtain of blue, purple, and crimson wool, and twisted fine linen, the work of a master weaver he made it, in a woven cherubim design. 36 And he made for it 4 pillars of acacia wood, and he overlaid them with gold, their hooks were gold, and he cast for them 4 silver sockets. 37 And he made a screen for the entrance of the tent, of blue, purple, and crimson wool, and twisted fine linen, the work of an embroiderer. 38 And its 5 pillars and their hooks, and he overlaid their tops and their bands with gold, and their 5 sockets were copper. Exodus chapter 37. 1 Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1 cubit and a half wide, and 1 cubit and a half high. 2 And he overlaid it with pure gold from inside and from outside, and he made for it a golden crown all around. 3 And he cast 4 golden rings for it upon its 4 corners, 2 rings on its one side and 2 rings on its other side. 4 And he made poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. 5 And he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark, to carry the ark. 6 And he made an ark cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and 1 cubit and a half wide. 7 And he made 2 golden cherubim, he made them of hammered work, from the 2 ends of the ark cover. 8 One cherub from the one end and the other cherub from the other end, from the ark cover he made the cherubim from its 2 ends. 9 The cherubim had their wings spread upwards, shielding the ark cover with their wings, with their faces toward one another, turned toward the ark cover were the faces of the cherubim. 10 And he made a table of acacia wood 2 cubits long, 1 cubit wide, and 1 cubit and a half high. 11 He overlaid it with pure gold, and he made for it a golden crown all around. 12 And he made for it a frame a handbreadth wide, all around, and he made a golden crown for its frame all around. 13 And he cast for it 4 golden rings, and he placed the rings on the 4 corners that are on its 4 legs. 14 The rings were opposite the frame, as holders for the poles, with which to carry the table. 15 And he made the poles of acacia wood, and he overlaid them with gold, to carry the table. 16 And he made the implements that are on the table, its forms, its spoons, its half-pipes, and its supports with which it will be covered of pure gold. 6th portion. Exodus chapter 37. 17 And he made the menorah of pure gold, of hammered work he made the menorah, its base and its stem, its goblets, its knobs, and its flowers were, all one piece, with it. 18 And 6 branches coming out of its sides, 3 menorah branches from its one side and 3 menorah branches from its second side. 19 3 decorated goblets on one branch, a knob and a flower, and 3 decorated goblets on one branch, a knob and a flower, so for the 6 branches that come out of the menorah. 20 Anon, the stem of the menorah were, for decorated goblets, its knobs and its flowers. 21 And a knob under the 2 branches from it, and a knob under the 2 branches from it, and a knob under the 2 branches from it, so, for the 6 branches that come out of it. 22 Their knobs and their branches were, all one piece, with it, all of it, was, one hammered mass of pure gold. 23 And he made its lamp 7, and its tongs and its scoops of pure gold. 24 He made it of a talent of pure gold, and all its implements. 25 And he made the incense altar out of acacia wood, 1 cubit long and 1 cubit wide, square, and 2 cubits high, its horns were, one piece, with it. 26 And he overlaid it with pure gold, on its top, its walls all around, and its horns, and he made for it a golden crown all around. 27 And he made 2 golden rings for it underneath its crown on its 2 corners, on its 2 sides, as holders for poles with which to carry it. 28 He made the poles out of acacia wood and overlaid them with gold. 29 And he made the holy anointing oil and the pure incense after the art of a perfumer. 7th portion. Exodus chapter 38. 1. And he made the altar for the burnt offerings of acacia wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. The altar was square, and it was 3 cubits high. 2. And he made its horns on its 4 corners. Its horns were all one piece from it, and he overlaid it with copper. 3. And he made all the implements of the altar, the pots, and the shovels and the sprinkling basins and the flesh hooks and the fire pans. He made all its implements of copper. 4. And he made for the altar a copper grating of netting work, beneath its ledge from below, until its middle. 5. And he cast 4 rings on the 4 ends of the copper grating, holders for the poles. 6. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and he overlaid them with copper. 7. And he inserted the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar with which to carry it. He made it hollow, out of boards. 8. And he made the washstand of copper and its base of copper from the mirrors of the women who had set up the legions, who congregated at the entrance of the tent of meeting. 9. And he made the courtyard on the southern side. There were hangings for the courtyard of twisted fine linen, 100 cubits. 10. And their pillars were 20 and their sockets 20 of copper, the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. 11. And for the northern end 100 cubits, their pillars 20, and their sockets 20 of copper, the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. 12. And for the western side, hangings 50 cubits, their pillars 10 and their sockets 10, the hooks of the pillars and their bands of silver. 13. And for the eastern end, 50 cubits. 14. The hangings on the shoulder were 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. 15. And on the second shoulder on either side of the gate of the courtyard, there were hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3 and their sockets 3. 16. All the hangings of the courtyard all around were of twisted fine linen. 17. And the sockets for the pillars were copper, the hooks of the pillars and their bands were silver, and the overlay of their tops was silver, and they were banded with silver, all the pillars of the courtyard. 18. And the screen of the gate of the courtyard was the work of an embroiderer, made of blue, purple, and crimson wool, and twisted fine linen, 20 cubits long, and its height in the width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the courtyard. 19. And their pillars were 4 and their sockets 4, of copper, their hooks silver, and the overlay of their tops and their bands were silver. 20. And all the pegs of the mishkan and of the courtyard all around were copper.